Siblings trip.
Yeah!
Where are we going?
Philadelphia!
Philly. Today I am in Philly. I'm doing an overnight trip here with my sister, just doing some Christmas stuff, you know, seeing some holiday things. But the main thing I want to talk to you about in this video as I'm exploring the city is courage. I was inspired to make this video because there are so many people who have a dream, but they don't go for it. Instead, they settle for living a life that they don't want to live, right? Oftentimes we know what we want, we know what we need to do to get there, but we don't do it. The reason for that is because we lack courage. What would you say is the most courageous thing I've ever done?
Take a countrywide trip by yourself for a whole summer.
Why is that courageous?
Because that's a lot of time without, you know, being around your people.
So really, what is courage? To me, courage is the willingness to just go for it. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is the willingness to do what is needed despite the fear. Courage is the line between depreciation and appreciation. Courage is the line between restriction and expansion. Our higher self is always urging us to expand and go beyond our current limits and our comfort zone. Like, there will never be a time in your life where you're just like, oh, now I'm good, now I'm happy, and there's nothing more. The inner spirit always wants you to become more, to become bigger, right? And that doesn't necessarily have to be just money or success, it's just your comfort zone. What is next? There's always this urging to go to the next level. See, even if someone handed you $1 million today, you'd have your fun, right, for like a month or two, and you know, you'd get it all out of your system, and then after that you'd be like, okay, now what's next? Maybe you'd want more money, maybe you'd want $2 million, or maybe you'd want something completely else other than money. But you're just gonna get to a point in your life where you just want the next thing. And at that time, you will need to use courage as your fuel to take you to the next step. I think of courage as the fuel that enables you to transcend your current perceived limits. Courage helps you become bigger and attract your dreams. Courage helps you to become the person who is worthy of living your dream life. Check it out, I just found this spot by the water, and it's actually pretty crazy because this spot reminds me exactly of this one spot that I saw in Chicago when I took that summer-long trip when I was trying to find my purpose. My first stop was Chicago, and over there, right by the water, I was staying in an Airbnb. And I remember sitting at an exact spot like this, just looking out onto the water. I know it's very dramatic, very cliche, but I was looking out onto the water and just like thinking, damn, I spent all this money to go on this trip to find my purpose. Will I ever actually find my purpose? And will this trip be really worth it? Is it actually going to lead to something? There was so much uncertainty in my life at that time, and it was honestly pretty scary. I'm not gonna lie to you. I tried to always cover it up, and I tried to play cool, but I really never knew for sure if anything that I was doing was actually going to lead me anywhere. And I think that's the most beautiful part of this journey, is that when you do start to live within the uncertainty through courage, that's when like beautiful things start to happen. So like I went on that trip and people thought I was weird for doing it, spending all that money just to go on a trip to find my purpose. but it like ended up being the best thing for me because I was just engulfing myself within the uncertainty. And it was honestly the most beautiful time of my life, but it was pretty scary because it was so uncertain. Courage is really the ability to step into the unknown. Like, think about it. Look at plants, look at animals, look at any other form of life other than human beings. And what you'll see is that they live within the unknown. The uncertainty is such a crucial part of life that makes life exciting. Plants and animals and any other form of life, they don't know what's going to happen the next hour. They don't know what's going to happen the next day, when they're going to retire, when they're going to go on vacation. They just live life. And that's when life truly becomes exciting, because when you don't know what is going to happen next, it means that anything is possible. My last semester in college, I was always hearing my friends, talk about their job offers and how they just got accepted to this new place and this much money they're going to be making next year. And this was when I actually had made the decision to leave the job that I was gonna do after I graduated and just, start my own thing, and which I didn't even at the time know what I was gonna do. But I remember all my friends getting job offers and talking amongst themselves, and I was really happy for them, don't get me wrong, but deep down I was thinking, like, damn, did I make the wrong decision? Am I really gonna, go down this path? And I was so nervous inside, and I knew at the end it would be worth it. I really had that trust in life, and I had that trust in myself and my own ability. But even then, when you do make a courageous decision, deep within you, you still might have some doubts. And that's just something that you have to get over. That's just something that you really just have to toughen up and just let time speak on that, right? Like, just keep going, and eventually those things go away. You have a big self and you have a small self. Your small self subscribes to all of the limiting philosophies and beliefs. Your small self believes that you don't have it within you to actually achieve what you want to achieve. But your big self doesn't subscribe to any of that. Your big self is the part of you that urges you to expand at all times and constantly pushes you to go to the next level. The more you give into the small self, the more restrictive your life becomes. But the more you give into the big self, the more you expand your boundaries, the more interesting and adventurous your life becomes. The thin line between your small self and the big self is courage. Because you really only get one chance, right? Like, in this life. Like, even if you believe in reincarnation, as your current self, you only get one shot. So why not make the best of that right now? Why settle for living a whole life, years on years on years, of just doing what you don't want? And so you have the opportunity only right now in this present moment. And people just constantly delay it. It's like, okay, no, when this happens, then I'll start taking action. When this happens, then I'll start taking action. But years go by, their whole life passes them by, and then they look back, they're like, damn, I didn't try, They're not proud of what they did. So that's one of my biggest fears, is just looking back and thinking, damn, I didn't go for it. So right now that motivates me in the present. It's making me want to take action right now, Okay, what's your name? Introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Sarah.
Okay, making a video about courage. What do you have to say? What's the most courageous thing you've ever done?
The most courageous thing? See, that's tough. I wasn't ready. I'm sorry.
You were very ready to be in the video.
Because I want to come up with something
it's okay,
that's
I'll cut it.
Good for mankind, not something like a psychedelic. I want to be like, I stood up for somebody and I had to beat up a bully, and that was really courageous.
Did you?
I lied though. I can't even recall it.
All right, let's talk about some of the truth. What does courage mean to you? How would you define courage?
Courage means, putting yourself after your purpose.
So for someone who's stuck who wants to get there and they know that that's how they should be, but they're constantly just stuck in that, you know, black hole of I'm too scared of taking that step. What tip would you give them? Or
And people are scared only of the uncertainty. Because think about it, if you knew 100% that you would succeed and everything would be okay, then you would start taking action right now. Then you would just go for it. You would risk it all. But just because that little bit of uncertainty exists, people aren't willing to take that next step. So that's what courage really is. It's that willingness to go into the unknown and like do what is necessary to live the life that you want to. And so if you're really scared and you're stuck, like all it takes is first of all getting clear about what you want, because most people live in a state where it's very foggy, their whole vision. So really just getting clear about what you want is the first step, and that has to come first, and that has to come from passion. I heard one thing that said that passion is your life force. Passion is what enables any of action, right? Like whatever you're doing, it all comes from passion. It all comes from energy, life force. Once you have that clear, then you simply just start placing one foot in front of the other and taking action. In the present moment, right here and now, every present moment, like you never give up. Like once you're in this for a while, there's no option of giving up. Day 2, Philly. It's pretty early in the morning. I'm about to do some meditation and yoga. No excuses, even while traveling. But right after that, I'm about to head out for the day. I am planning on coming back to Philly in the near future. So if there are some spots that I should be going to that you guys know of, put them in the comments below. You have to look back at your past and ask yourself, have you always made it through any difficult time that you've ever been through? And what you'll see is, doesn't matter how difficult the time you went through was, you always made it through. If you're watching this video right now, you have made it through the most difficult time that you have ever had. And so with that, you come to the conclusion that fear of loss is an illusion. Because when you submerge yourself within an unfamiliar situation, the infinite intelligence that is flowing through you at all times kicks in. And it takes over and it shows you the path out of the situation. The more you believe in your power, the more power you ask for and demand, the more power you are granted. Okay? It's really that simple. The more power you require, the more power you are given. But if you never take any action, then you will not receive any power to move forward, to actually do the incredible things that you want to do in your life. So understand that fear is an illusion. What you're afraid of is ultimately not real. And you will always make it through any hardship, any difficult time, but you just need that positive attitude and you need that willingness to take action. Last time I was in Philly, I had like 5 cheesesteaks in like 2 days, but since then I've been vegetarian, so I'm about to try this place called Hip City Veg, which has veggie cheesesteaks. Let's see if it's nearly as good as the regular ones. No matter what you start doing, you're going to be bad at it in the beginning, initially. That's just a phase you have to get through. So many of us are afraid to start something new, so afraid to go after what we want because we're afraid of being judged and being bad at what we do initially. right? If I go back and look at my first YouTube videos, which I thought were good at the time, but right now when I watch them, they're so cringeworthy. And I bet you when I go watch these videos that I'm doing today in like 5 years, I'm gonna be like, oh my God. And so you have to realize that you just have to do your best and put out whatever you have. If you're a creator, if you're a business person, just do your best right now. And the magical part about all of it is that as you go on with time, as you keep being consistent, your best gets better and better and better and better. But you absolutely cannot let that fear of judgment and fear of being bad, you know, that perfectionism, get in your way of just starting. To really tie this all in, I want to say that if you have a dream, go for it. If you know what you want, go for it. If you are itching within to follow your passion, follow your purpose, start taking action. Courage isn't built while waiting to build courage. Courage is built while taking action on your dreams and goals right now in this present moment. So stop waiting to build something that you can only build while taking action. Stop waiting and start doing. I challenge you right now as you're watching this video, right after you watch this video, to just put something into action. Take one step, whatever you think might get you to your goals, do that thing right after you watch this video.